guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So we are back with another how-to video for the Toyota Corolla. This is a 2010 and this is for the starter on a 2009 to 2013. So in order to get started, the first thing you want to do is definitely disconnect the battery. And all the parts and tools that are going to be used in this video are going to be linked down in the description down below, so definitely go check them out, pick them up, and they're all from Amazon, so they can be at your house quick and easy. But I actually just recently picked up a new battery, so currently it's not in there, but since we have to disconnect it for the starter, I just went ahead and left it out for now. So the first time I tried starting this video, I actually did break this little piece off of like the little hose mount off of this kind of bracket. So this whole metal piece is completely brand new. I do have a video on the channel of replacing this because as I was reaching down to replace the starter, I bumped this hose and broke off that little piece. So I definitely suggest picking up one of these and going ahead and replacing that because this is a really weak point. And once that pops off, all the coolant's gonna start spraying everywhere. So, and it's as easy as 2 screws right there. So I suggest checking that out. There's also gonna be a link in the description down below for that. But in order to get to where we need to get to, let me get the light down in there and see if I can kind of show you guys. So right here is the transmission dipstick. And if you follow that tube all the way down, we're actually going to be pulling off a bolt. Let's see if I can show it on camera. Right kind of at the tip of my finger. So that's the top bolt for the starter. And it's in a really tricky spot. So in order to get to that, we have to take off the bracket for, let's see if I can even get the light down in there properly. All right, so this right here is the bracket. The bolt is right here. I'm actually touching the top of it with my finger. And then we need to take this bracket off with a bolt that's located like right here. So we're gonna have to pull that off, and then this whole thing can kind of move out of the way a little bit, and then we can get to the top bolt for the starter. So this is in a kind of really tricky position. I do suggest doing the top bolt first because when you come around to the bottom of the car, let me show you the underside and where the starter is located. All right, so when you come under, it's literally right here, the one with the blue and white label. So the bottom bolt is located right here. So once you take that off, if you do the top one first, then the whole unit just kind of falls down and you can go ahead and pull it right out. And then there's a plug right here, and then this right here is a little cover that you flip open, and there's going to be a bolt for the kind of the plug and the wire that goes to the battery. So what we're going to do first is go ahead and up on the top side, remove that little bracket, which you can actually kind of see it right here. Yeah, right there. So you can kind of see that bracket from the underside, and we're going to go ahead and remove that and remove the top bolt. All right, so let me go ahead and take this and stick it right on that bolt, which is right there. I don't know if you can really see where that's at now. It's kind of out of sight, but it's kind of tricky to even try to film. All right, let's see if I can kind of show you guys. So right there is where it's at. I don't know if you can kind of see that. And then I think I could probably get that off by hand from here. All right, so now that we have that bracket kind of undone, the dipstick kind of moves a little bit, and you should be able to pull it straight up. And then once it's up, you can kind of move it off to the side just a little bit. So there we go. So now it's kind of off to the side, kind of have it down and out of the way. Now I should be able to kind of reach down into there and take off that top bolt. And now you can kind of see why replacing kind of this is really highly suggested, and I would suggest going with the all metal because that little plastic piece, especially like on 2010 like this, very brittle, snapped off with little effort. And this was the little plastic piece right here that did break off. So now I'll be able to reach down in here and try to get that bolt off. All right, so where it's located is kind of hard to get to, so I actually did add on some giant extensions. I also have this like little kind of pivot here on the end, so I'll be able to kind of get in there at an angle kind of where it's at. So I'm going to try to use all this. Also, there's going to be links for all these down in the description down below as well. So let me try to get it onto the end of that bolt, which is right there on the end of this. So I don't know if you guys can kind of see that where it's going to. But let's get it down in here, get it seated. Or maybe I can actually kind of feed it through where the battery compartment is. Gives me a little bit more room. All right, so now I'm hooked on, and this actually might be a great idea coming from under here. There we go. All right. And that little pivot definitely makes it way easier to get to a lot of stuff because I can kind of come in at weird angles and be able to get exactly where I need to get to. So I definitely suggest picking up one of those on Amazon. And they even have them in like all the different sizes as well, so you can use them for like any wrench that you have. Alrighty, so now I got the bolt off. There it is. Alright, so now we're underneath the car. We're gonna go ahead and unplug the starter. Let's see, it should just be like the little tab, and you should be able just to pop off that little plug. Alright, there we go. So the little plug is off, and then I went ahead and kind of popped this little plastic thing. It's just like a little cover that flips up. I don't know if you can really see that very well. There we go. So the top piece is just like a little kind of plastic cover, and it exposes that little bolt underneath. And that does look like it's a little 10 millimeter. So let's go ahead and grab one of those. All right, so I actually grabbed it. It's a 12 millimeter, and then our rip is actually located right here. So you can kind of see like that plastic little flap that flips up. So then I figured I'll just go ahead and remove this bolt from the top side since we're already here. And this is why you should disconnect it from the battery, because this is the battery connection. All right, I went ahead and removed that little nut. So I'm just gonna go ahead and set that aside. And now we should be able to remove, there we go, it's the top plug of the starter. So we should be able to pull that, there we go. Pull it right off, and you can kind of see that exposed bolt. So that is actually a part of the starter that's going to stay there. So now we're going to go to the underside, and now that we have that plug removed and then that kind of cover off, we're going to go remove that bottom bolt for the starter, and then the whole thing should be able to just drop right out. All right, so there it is again from the underside. So like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and remove this bottom bolt, and because that will drop out once I start doing that, I'm going to go ahead and kind of set the camera down. I'm going to go ahead and remove this, and then I'll catch back up with you guys once I have it out. All right, so I just removed the final bolt. Now let's go ahead and try to maneuver this down and out. All right, and there it is. Ooh, man, that's a heavy part. Boom, there we go, and the starter is out. And if you're curious, that's where it does kind of go in, and you can kind of see that top bolt right there. And then you can see the flywheel right in here on the left side. There we go, so there's the flywheel, the edge of it. So then this actually has some teeth that spins that. There we go. All right, so here's a good comparison of the old one versus the new one. It is a completely different, like whole different thing. Also, this one does come with a new nut for the battery connection, but wow, look at the difference. That is insane. But we're gonna go ahead and take the new one. We're gonna line it up into place. We're gonna go ahead and put the bottom bolt back in, and then we're gonna go ahead and get the top bolt put back in. All right, so I already have the new starter kind of up in place. I kind of hand tightened the bolt. So I'm gonna go ahead and crank that down, and then I'm gonna put the top screw in. Since the battery's disconnected, I can go ahead and plug it in right now. So I can go ahead and stick that back in place and find the plug and grab that and put it back in place as well. All right, and just like that, the starter is done. I had to come back on the bottom side to kind of show you guys the actual starter installed, but man, that looks so nice and fresh, ready to go. So I hope this video helped you guys out, and if it did, definitely put down in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. But like I mentioned, all the links for all the parts, all the tools are going to be down in the description down below, and a bunch of other how-to videos I'm doing with my Corolla. So definitely go check out all those other links and check out my channel for all those other videos, and there's even going to be a playlist just for this car alone and all the how-to videos. But if you guys did like the video, definitely go down and hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. But as always, thank you for watching.